Hey everyone, welcome back. It's episode 51 of the Paddle Talk podcast. Joining me tonight, as always, producer extraordinaire Billy Teeters and also West Coast correspondent Caleb Mings. Gents, how are we doing tonight? And are we ready to go?
Heck
I'm
yeah,
ready.
Isaac.
I'm trying to get my seat more settled
Sweet.
back. I'm ready to go.
Great having you both in the house. And just a reminder, folks, this episode, as always, brought to you by Racing in the Dirt out of Cleveland, Wisconsin. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Caleb Mings was on site this weekend. It was Dome Valley Raceway race, their last point series race of the 2024 season, I guess you would say. Caleb was on site, so let's get right into it. Caleb, what do you got for us?
Yeah, the point series finale there for Dome Valley Raceway. I don't have all the point series results. I do have a few people off the top of my head that I know ended up walking away with championships. It was pretty cool. Been a while since we've had a West Coast points championship, so it's always exciting to have those. And when you know things are going to come down to the wire, somebody's got to go and win a round in order to take the championship. They got to beat somebody else. It adds to the excitement over the overall event for sure.
And I tell you what, it's not easy keeping up on points either, right? I mean, you're trying to figure out all these classes, figuring out some different scenarios and stuff. I know for myself doing like Pro Truck Nationals points, sometimes it's kind of confusing and you got multiple pieces of paper going and everything else. So that is not an easy task. We highly appreciate the fact that you were on site and willing to do that. So let's jump right into Friday if we can.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So Friday, they had 2 sessions for all the heads-up classes. We had 5 top alcohol cars that ended up being on the property. Kind of mix and match between a few different ones. I believe Friday we only had 4 that actually were trying to make passes. 9 top eliminator cars and an A-fuel car, or 2 A-fuel cars actually, that made some qualifying passes. A lot of the guys in top alcohol, they were pulling double duty running top eliminator and top alcohol. So definitely was, getting around the turnaround times for those folks. And trust me, they went some rounds. But I think the big highlight, if you guys were watching on the live stream, Nick Schultzman in the Blue Bayou altered first pass out, brand new engine and trans for that car. Blew the clutch up. I mean, I literally right next to me, it blew the clutch up and popped the blower too. It was high revved, and it banged Nick up a little bit there, and we were kind of like worried for a moment. But man, the Blue Bayou team, they put that thing back together and were able to get it back into shape for racing on Saturday. The rest of the top alcohol qualifying, let's just skip straight to the end for Friday on there. Jim Nafziger in the Yabba Dabba Doo Racing Barney's an Alcoholic Dragster ended up walking away with the number 1 spot on Friday at a 278.4. Tristan Graham in the Whiskey Business top eliminator buggy, he was running out there, ran a best of a 294.7. Nick Schultzman, as we said, he only ran that first pass, and it was about half track, 3/4 track before it went bang, and he ended up with a 319. And then Robert Siniceros, that's an ex Mike D'Annunzio Whipple Canada team top alcohol dragster, sporting the Top Dog name, which just completely tripped my whole brain. But they were out there from Texas, and I believe that's their first trip out to a track that actually has a timing system. And man, just they had problems after problems on Friday. They had a broken throttle linkage, their first pass out. So I literally got up there to pre-stage it, and then the linkage busted and couldn't freaking get it to go forward. And they got that fixed, brought it up for Q2, and then they had a clutch issue. That clutch linkage wasn't working. Same type of deal where it's trying to gas it and it wouldn't go anywhere. So they just end up there, the number 4 qualifier by default. Jim ended up pulling out the double duty there. Top eliminator got the number 1 spot, 297.2. followed by Mike Brock in the Purple Unicorn Dragster. Next, Vicky Hall ride, 297.7, and Terry Crawford ran out the top three for Yabba Dabba Doo Racing at a 298.7. In A Fuel,
Definitely
Jordan
everything was
Quintal.
cool to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. Another cool story, A Fuel for Q2, we saw Cody Hoffman, first time behind the wheel of his dad's Steve Hoffman, the Smooth Sucka A Fuel dragster. And Cody went out there and literally, I didn't even realize it at first that it was not Steve driving it, because he went out there, made about a half track pass, and it was a beautiful launch. He ended up being the number 2 qualifier there with a 420 with a 6 to Jordan Quintal's 396.7 in the Cubic Bucks buggy. Jordan only made the first pass on Friday, and he got a little out of shape in the shutdown. Probably had to change his pants. And that was our 2 sessions there on Friday. You guys want to get into some results? Because, I'm pretty partial to some of those results.
Yeah, I kind of thought maybe you would be. So back to Mr. Hoffman, though. One, how old is Cody these days? I mean, he's got to be...
I mean, he's probably around my age now. I was talking to him, kind of caught up a little bit. He has not been in a sand drag car since junior dragster days, probably early 2000s, out there with all of us.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that's probably about it. And that car, that Smooth Sucka car, has been around a long time. But I will say this. That car always looks good and usually runs really well all the time. So that's pretty impressive and good to see that thing back on the track. That's where it belongs, and yeah, that's really, really good. So all right,
that car looks awesome no matter who's driving it.
Yeah,
that car is
right?
gorgeous.
No doubt. All right, so let's get into our Friday results. And you know what, Caleb Ings, I will let you present them in whatever order you prefer. So
whatever order I prefer. Ooh, what should I do with this? Well, we'll save the best for last. We'll do that. How about that?
Just hurry up. This is gonna be grueling. I can tell.
So the 395 car index class, Eric Brown in the delayed reaction dragster gets the win over Jeff Callis. The 450 index car class, Joey Weaver gets the win over Braden Root. Braden, pretty new to that Jeep, and so cool to see him out there for 450 index. Braden gets
the Jeep that Braden Root's driving these days. What Jeep is that?
So he's got 2 different ones. They've got like their whole race team. The 450 index is the slower car, if I'm not mistaken. He's got another Jeep that he was running in like the Pro 1 class that is an ex Tata Racing Alex Garcia Jeep.
Okay.
And that's the kind of like lower slung flat black panel, nice like kind of crimson red frame rails on that Jeep.
Okay.
So, but I'm pretty sure he was running one of his teammates' Jeeps in the 450 index.
Gotcha.
When it came to the Friday Car Gambler, though, he was running that Jeep we were just speaking about, and he took first over Alex Garcia. And it was funny because he literally just bought that Jeep off of Alex a few months ago. They first race out, they brought it out to Lake Elsinore. Second race out with it, and he was like, "Man, I'm a gambler killer right now."
Awesome. Well done, man. That's nothing wrong with that, man. 2 classes and getting podium in both of them. That's impressive.
Yeah. Well, speaking about podiums in 2 different classes, 395 index ATV class, yours truly took the win over Shane Crum, and also took first place in the Friday night ATV Gambler over Dominic Pena on the 250R. So 2 different bikes there for day 1 for Mings Racing.
The 250R putting in some work. Okay, so here's my question. why is it 395 instead of a 40 index? Are there really that many guys that want to run 395 versus 40, or does it sound better 295 index, 395 index?
395 sounds way cooler than 40.
I think
would
so.
agree.
I think
I'm just questioning.
that's what really came down to it, because the California tracks, they were the ones that came up with that 395 index class. So I think Don't Valley just kind of adopted that, and they said, you know what, there's a lot of ATVs that are kind of right at that mark. And as Billy said, yeah, it sounds cooler.
It does.
Way
I'm
cooler.
not gonna lie. It does definitely sound cooler. So, there's a direction I want to head, but I'm not sure we should. So let's just
do it. No, do it. No, do it. Do it.
So, what one might expect for a payout on an ATV index class there, Mr. Mings?
Oh, well, payout was did not happen on that one. I thought there was going to be payout for it. There was only three bikes entered, which I still had a blast running the class. Still waiting on my plaque. Somehow those didn't get made, so that's what was cool about it. He said, yeah, he'll get them made for me and Shane, and he'll have them at the next event for us.
So you're still getting a plaque out of the deal then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He said it's a four bike minimum to get, payback on there. Dome's got pretty good, reasonable payouts though. They most of their classes, they do 70% payback. They split that 70-30 first and second. The gambler class, that's where you get the money though. That's an 80% payback class. Nice. Granted, they do winner take all on that, so you got to do some handshake deals if you're getting in the finals there.
It gets down to that last 3 or 4 guys, and there's definitely some deal making going on there.
For sure.
Oh, that's excellent. That's really good. Just as a side note, how many ATVs we talking here for the weekend, would you say?
Between all the classes, I mean, there was probably 20 of us there.
Okay.
Thereabouts, maybe a little bit less than that. There's been definitely events where there's been more ATVs, but like there's a good mix too. Like there's some stock Banshees and stuff, which we'll see later on in the results here. Up to you got Brock Racing goes out there and they've got their crazy fast lay down trikes. So
yep,
good spectrum.
Nice. No, that's good. That's good variety. So, all right, let's move on to the sport classes then for Saturday.
Yeah, so kicking off with Sport Car 1, seeing Joey Weaver once again in the winner's circle there in his Jeep, taking the win over Thomas Breeden. And Sport 2 car, we saw Sean Posnikoff taking the win over Kyle Stewart. And Sport 1 ATV, I was going to run the class. I ended up pulling my bike out. We didn't quite have it ready. We were making a gear change from the previous night, and I was kind of like pretty frantic with everything. And so it was nice to have a little bit of a break because, man, stuff moves quick when you're running 2 different vehicles and trying to get coverage.
For sure.
So pulled out there, let them have a little bit of a breathing room. And Dominic Pena, who was runner-up in that Friday night gambler, took the win over Marco Navarro. And so got a nice plaque there. And sport classes, as long as there's 4 entries or more, you get $100 back. So you make a little bit of money back on your entry too.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Sport 2 ATV, I did stay into that one. And that was on the 250R. And I took the win over Marcus Rydell.
So those of you scoring at home, 3 classes, 3 podiums so far with Mr. Mings. All right. Very good. And we have some gambler action on Saturday night too?
Yeah. So they did gamblers both days for both of the cars and bikes, which is cool. And Alex Garcia, he was the bridesmaid on Friday, and he was the bride taking first place in the Saturday gambler, which was a little bit bigger, so bigger paycheck for him. Nice. And he took that over Sean Posnikoff. Oh. And then it was an all Mings Racing final for the ATV gambler. And that was my dad kicking my butt. He took first. We did a little 50-50 split there. Wish I could have given him a little bit more of a run for his money, but I had you could ask everybody there. The 250R's clutch was gone by that final round and slipping quite a bit out of the hole. So way off my dial there.
Shout out to Randy. I love you, dude.
Yeah.
Randy.
Way to go, Randy.
Yeah, no, my dad, and that was
Cactus
gotta give
Cooler
a shout out
King.
to gotta give a shout out to other Randy, much more. Brand new, top end to that motor. And dad ran his personal best. He ended up going 421, and that was with very little, tuning and changes and stuff. So that's the quickest that bike has ever been. Same CCs, just better cylinder design and way better porting, with much more power.
Oh, shout out, dude. That's awesome. Shout out to KT.
Awesome.
Shout out Randy. Shout out Caleb.
Has he gotten rid of that Hayabusa bike yet?
No, so that one is still for sale. It's a G6R 1100. Price dropped to $5,500. It does have something wrong with the transmission, but if any of you guys are Suzuki guys and want to take it apart, I mean, it first gear works. It just doesn't want to shift under power into second. On the ground, you can get in second. Under a load, doesn't want to go in second. Don't know what to say, but he's done with it. Would he trade it for a go-kart? I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I think it'd have to be a pretty wicked golf cart though. Go-kart.
I'll shoot him a message.
All right, so let's get to our pro classes on Saturday then. Actually, let's do the juniors and the peewees first.
Okay. Yeah, let's get down there. So, juniors and peewees. So, peewees, 2 of them on the property. They did do a runoff best 2 out of 3, and the winner was Miss Aspen Brown. She took the win over Aubrey Pena.
Awesome. We like it.
And then juniors, I know that I believe Autumn Carlson, she took the first here, and I believe she wrapped up the points championship. She came in second, I believe, to our event second place, Aubrey Fauché, who ends up wrapping up the points championship. She took first the first 2 races of the year and got that second place there. So didn't quite get the cherry on top that she wanted, but pretty good season for Aubrey Fauché.
Congratulations, ladies, and well done. So how many juniors would you say total there, Caleb?
Ooh, juniors, 12, 14, something like that.
Oh, very good.
Much better junior class. And good mix as well. There's a side-by-side, a few different junior dragsters, a few go-karts, ATVs, good mix in the juniors class.
Yeah. All right. So pro, whichever one of the pro classes you want to get going with.
Sure. So they had 3 pro car classes. Pro 1, Eric Brown took the win over Sam Adkins. I believe Eric wrapped up a ton of points championships. I want to say he ended up walking away with 3 of the 4.
Wow.
And I could not tell you which ones he walked away. I did take a photo of all his plaques and giant trophies and stuff from him. And I kept joking, like, I don't think he's got enough trailer to take home all his trophies. But he had a very good weekend there. I'm also taking first place in Pro 2 over Jeff Callis. And then we saw Kenzie Rex taking first place in Pro 3 over Jared Fauché. And Kenzie ends up wrapping up the points championship as well.
Oh, congratulations, Kenzie. All right.
And then getting into the ATV classes there, Pro 1 ATV, my dad, Randy, taking the win over Chris Carlson. Dad beat me out first round, broke out by 100th, but proud of him, ended up taking the class win there.
Nice. So you guys won every class you entered.
Every class that we had a Mings Racing entry, we end up winning. So the only we either won the class or bowed out first round. So he was entered in the Friday Gambler, and he ended up red lighting. He was 8 foul red, and then in Pro 1 there on Sunday, I ended up breaking out by 100th, and so either bowed out first round or took the win.
Hey, never mind that.
Shout out to Mings Racing. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, we were, trust me, we were stoked. I ran a personal best as well on the weight class bike, 387, and I didn't have, scales out there, but I'm pretty sure that we're still 20 pounds over.
Nice.
So very, very excited about that. And, finally getting the tuning right on that machine. Pro 2 ATV, we saw Alyssa Atkins. So she was on basically a stock Banshee. I think, pipes on it, maybe, bigger carb or something, but stock appearing Banshee, if I've ever seen one. She took the win over Marcus Rydell in Pro 2 ATV.
All right.
And we got our heads up classes. Top alcohol, there wasn't very many people that were left after Q4 that had working cars. Attrition definitely hit the class pretty hard. And we end up seeing Jim Nafziger take the win over Tristan Graham. And Jim was trying to get the points championship there, but just came up second fiddle to Nick Schultzman. Nick ended up borrowing Tommy Zavala's car to stage it to be able to actually get the points for the round and just have enough points to earn the tiebreaker over Jim. So Jim ended up tying him actually in the points there. I believe is the way it ended breaking down, but with Nick Schultzman having 2 wins as the tiebreaker to Jim's 1, the points championship went to Nick Schultzman.
Wow.
And then top eliminator, familiar story, because would you look at that? We have the same 2, first and second, in top eliminator there. Now, I believe Terry Crawford ends up taking the points championship for top eliminator, but teammate Jim taking the win over Tristan Graham. And man, what a heartbreak for Tristan. He went out there and, Jim broke on the line and coasted about half track. Tristan went out there and broke out. He ran like a 293.
No.
Yeah. So just goes to show, guys, you got to look back. You got to look back, even a top eliminator. And they let him basically time out. Porter will time out like 65 seconds, basically.
He should have pushed it. He should have pushed it.
I know. I was on the stream. I'm like, Jim, push it. He
should have pushed it. And I have a I got into a little spiff one time with Keith Ahart because I told him about how we made somebody push a vehicle down the track, and he was like, "You can't make everybody do that, especially older men." And I'm like, "Well, I have a solution. Like, what if nobody else touches the vehicle, right?" And Keith Ahart always had that cart where he just dollied it up the front of the dragster up on the dolly, and then hooked it back up to his the side by side. So as long as you don't touch the vehicle, you can tow it. Nobody else can touch it though. So it's like a one-man tow.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something to think about. But I mean, no. I mean, if that's the rules, that's the rules. But
yeah, no, and it is an interesting conversation. He should have pushed it. I think that would have been funny. But end up being a good weekend for Jim there. And A-Fuel, we saw Cody Hoffman take the win. Cody ended up making a couple 280 laps in that smooth sucking machine.
Ooh,
so
Jordan
was not. Yeah, Jordan didn't end up being there Sunday. I think he took off Saturday night. Not sure if something broke or just needed to be out of there. But Cody getting some seat time in that thing, and it was pretty cool to see.
Awesome,
Cody.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Cody. Well, it sounds like all around a very well attended, good race, good spectator count as well.
Oh yeah. Always at Dome Valley.
Always at Dome Valley. That is true. Billy Teeters, any takes on the Dome Valley points for wrap up?
Oh, Nafziger should have pushed it. Randy should have won more. Besides Caleb, I don't know. I thought the double entering was cool from the top alcohol to the top eliminator going back and forth. I wonder if anybody made any real changes or if they just started sandbagging when they went to the top eliminator, which I totally would too. I mean,
I wondered that myself as well. It's actually way harder to slow those cars down than it is to find speed, it seems, at times. And that's no small undertaking to say, hey, not only are we going to run top alcohol, but we're also going to, run an index class when, say, you're running like 80s to, just you think, oh, just, back it off 2/10. That's way easier said than done. I will say that.
For sure.
For sure. But yeah, the switching back and forth and then seeing Tristan and Jim in the finals of both classes was cool. I kind of was really hoping Tristan would have ran the 280 or 270.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to see. I don't know. I was just expecting it to just pop. Like as soon as I seen him in top alcohol, I was like, dude, just fucking do it. Like I was stoked.
You know
I
what?
just
There
wanted
was
to
a couple
see it.
times where it sounded like he's got something he's got to still figure out, like the last quarter of the track, because it seems like the thing gets up in high gear and it kind of just sits there. I do want to give a shout out though. His better half broke into the twos for the first time. Kylie Graham in the Frisky Business Buggy, she went at 297.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
awesome. I
Congratulations,
bet it felt like
Kyle.
a
she was
rocket.
stoked on that.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
I bet it felt like a rocket.
Oh, trust me, they had that thing hopped up. It sounded mean, and for whatever reason, that car has always sounded way milder than Tristan's. But like a couple of those passes, I'm like, oh my gosh, what, they put some yellow fuel in that thing? Like,
Nice.
Well, yeah.
No, sounds good. So, all right.
Indeed.
Last thoughts there, gents.
I ain't got nothing. Good job, Caleb.
great weekend, Go Mings
Yeah,
Racing.
Great job, Caleb. Very much so.
Shout
Great
out-
job both
Shout
on
out
the
to
track.
Randy.
and
Shout out to all
coverage.
the winners.
Yep. Shout out to everybody that took a first, and yeah, well done. Shout out to the crew at Dome. Sounds like a very well run race,
Yeah.
and really went well. And yeah, ATV's being a good addition to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, but you real quick, you just said shout out to Esteban and shout out to Ernesto, all the staff that helped put on that event. I know
Yeah.
it's not easy. So shout out to those guys.
Now we'll have to get Esteban back on here to do a little points recap. He's got all the details on that to give the full story.
Perfect.
Indeed. Add
I
to the
like
list.
it. That is going to wrap up the Dome Valley Point Series finale race coverage.
Hey folks, this episode of Paddle Talk is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt has parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help all of their customers compete at their very best. With over 30 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, and experience and helpful staff as well. Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. And don't forget to check out their website, RacingInTheDirt.com. That is RacingInTheDirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to our next segment. It's episode 51 of the Paddle Talk podcast. And I am joined by producer extraordinaire Billy Teeters, our West Coast correspondent Caleb Mings, and we're going to catch you up on a little preview for a couple races coming up this weekend. First, we have the rescheduled Battle of the Belts race at Atoka Motorsports Park, and we also have the Speeders, that's Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series, race down at South Georgia Motorsports Park. So it should be a great couple races. The South Georgia thing, I think, has the ability and possibility to really take off. Dave Applegate not able to join us tonight as he is, we'll just say he's neck deep in getting that race up and rolling and everything going on. So it's going to be us three carrying it. So, all right. So Billy Teeters.
Honestly, I didn't even ask Dave to join us because I knew he was so busy. I just was like, all right, I know how he is. And as always, you guys are watching this on Thursday. We are recording a couple days earlier than that, but I did want to give an update on what our boy Dave said about the track here. He said it's looking really good, but here I'm just gonna play this video, and y'all will hear what he said. Here we go.
What's going on, everybody? Just left South Georgia Motorsports Park. Checked everything out. Looked at the track. Roll had his guys come down, do the track. Believe it or not, it is 125 feet wide. Now, obviously, we don't need 125 feet wide, but I did ask him to make it wide. There was a reason. That reason is now we can put our track where we want it in that 125-foot wide section. So I've got it marked out. Tomorrow I will be there in the morning, setting everything up. Casey Smith from HCL Contracting is bringing the do-all and the tractor to take care of it. It'll be there tomorrow at some point. So we'll have that. We've got something to fix the starting line with, which is thanks to South Georgia Motorsports Park, will be a tractor with a box blade on the back of it to help, fill in holes. So we're good there. We've got a water truck. We've got food vendors coming. We've got some other vendors coming. Off-Road Syndicate will be there. And Off-Road Syndicate actually offered to make some event shirts. So they'll be there. I had to get the okay from Murray Power Sports. Because as most of you know, Murray Power Sports takes care of all my decals, logos, all that good stuff. So we got the okay from them for him to do that. So in a nutshell, be ready tomorrow. We will have videos tomorrow of the track. Timing system won't be completely done, but I will give you some videos of the track, as well as, I'll pick up the dirt and show you guys what we got. I think you're going to be impressed. It's going to be, I don't think again, guys, this is not going to be a Shelton's or a Gilbert or Silverback. I mean, it's the first time having it here. So, but it's going to be fast. It's going to be safe, and we're going to have a hell of a time. So bear with us while we get it together. Tomorrow, there will be a video of the track finally. And thank you guys for being patient because of the hurricane that came through and all the other races that South Georgia had in the last couple of months. It's just taking a little extra time. That's all. Just be thankful that we have a place in Georgia to race at. Also be thankful for all of our sponsors. We have well over $15,000 to hand out this weekend with plenty of classes, 10 index classes, 5 heads-up classes. We got Pro Comp, ATV bracket, full-size bracket. There ain't no reason why you cannot find a class to fit in. We will talk to you tomorrow.
So when he says talk to you tomorrow, he obviously means yesterday. So, but yeah, 15 grand to hand out at this race this weekend at South Georgia Motorsports Park, and opening weekend for the, I guess, dirt drags, 300-foot dirt drags aspect of it. It's going to be huge. And I see all the posts he's making on the Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series Facebook page about all these people confirmed coming. It's going to be huge. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited for Dave. I'm excited for all these racers heading to South Georgia Motorsports Park. And Isaac, it's just going to be, it looks like it's going to be a ball.
I tell you what, just speaking from maybe a Michigan standpoint, for a long time now, guys have been looking for a way to extend their season, for a track, someplace they could go that, and we know Dome, obviously, right, is out there, and some other places, but, that's a pretty long haul. I feel like there's a very good possibility South Georgia Motorsports Park, if they play it right, and if this, they're as invested as what they appear to be now, this could really turn into a big deal, especially for Midwest guys looking to kind of get out of the weather, so to speak, and either prolong their racing season or maybe even start it off a little earlier, depending on what they're looking at, for the spring. So Dave has worked really, really hard on this, and I tell you what, with that kind of payout, it's guaranteed it's going to draw people. I mean, there's just no other way to look at it.
Oh yeah, especially in that area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the people don't realize that you can take your dragster, your car, you can take your Alder, you can take your full body truck, you can take anything you take to Silverback, you can take to Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series races, and anything you take to a race out in California or even Thunder Valley or Atoka, anything along those lines, anything you take to Gilbert, you can take to one of these races that Dave's throwing on, because There's a shitload of classes. Anybody can run it.
I would think anybody that went to Gilbert to run, say, the index classes, they're going to find it very easy to find a class to run at a Southern Power Sports Drag Race and Series event. And
You run the
there's
same
no
damn index class.
Yeah. And it sounds like they're really, you know, at South Georgia Motorsports Park, they're really committing to having the proper equipment out there, having a dual, having a box blade. Like that's really encouraging to me because, you know, we see a lot of tracks that try to start up and, you know, they may have very good intentions, but they really don't have the right equipment to prep a surface. And we know Georgia's got some good dirt. So, you know, can't wait to see, you know, how it looks up all tilled up and everything. And I think it's going to be, you know, one of those things that played the right way could come up to be a very, you know,
For
top
sure.
tier sand drag facility.
I think so too. And Isaac, what I was saying is that the PSDA and with Dave, their index classes are they're basically the same. So
Yep.
they definitely have a class already that can run it. So
Absolutely. No, and that's what I was getting at was you have no excuse that, well, I love to run the index, but I can't find any place to run. Well, here you go. Every race in the Southern Power Sports Drag Races series, you know, series literally has index classes you can go and run with your UTV, with your quad. I mean, you name it. So yeah.
Not even to mention that he's got heads up classes for damn near everything too.
Yeah.
The 4x4 ATVs,
Bar, no bar.
yeah,
The 4x4 stuff.
yeah.
Side by sides.
He's got classes for everything. And if you're just a bracket racer, he's got bracket racing too. That's
Bracket,
basically
pro
what pro
comp?
comp is. Yeah, but
Yep.
that's for cars. For cars,
This is it's a really good way for you to try a bunch of different, you know, whether it's bracket, whether it's index, whether it's even heads up, a really good way for you going and try some different racing than maybe even what you're used to. And I tell you what, you're going to get paid if you do well. That's the bottom line.
yeah, I agree. So I hope it goes well. I hope so
too. And I can't wait to see, hopefully, you know, we'll be able to get some live stream and some good footage from the weekend and really do well there. So
Dave's
all
gonna
right.
be busy as hell, so hopefully we'll get what we can. He'll get what he can. Apparently everybody else on the staff was too busy to go down there. So either way, I would be down there, but I'll explain why I'm not going down there in the outro is what I call it now. But yeah,
There we go. All right, so let's move to the Battle of the Belts. Now, before we get into that, I gotta ask.
Sure.
So ADRL, American Drag Racing League, has also done Battle of the Belts for some time.
okay.
Who was first, Atoka or the ADRL?
I don't know.
ADRL might have been where they got it from.
Derek
I
Howard,
feel
if
like
you're
it's,
watching this, I expect an answer to that question when we bring you on to talk about the results. So be prepared, buddy.
Yeah, you be ready for that, Derek. You be ready for that. And I'll probably get a message as soon as he sees this too. He did post a list of racers who are qualified for the belt race. And if you don't know how to get qualified, you have to make it to the finals of their money classes all year at Atoka Motorsports Park. They're Pro 1 cars, Pro 2 cars, Pro 1 ATV, Pro 2 ATV, Pro 3 ATV. Your juniors, top eliminator, and top alcohol also qualify for that as well. No top alcohol racers, but there are a few top eliminator racers, and I'll just name them all here. I don't think it's that big of a list. Okay, here we go. John Acker, Brad Sivils, Chris Jackson, JT Holstein, Daniel Baker, Braden Baker, Amanda Matthews, Leslie Steelman, Pruitt Schultz, Wade Schultz, Wyatt Schultz, John Pate, Derek Homan, Wyatt Rainey, Tyler Smithson, Jimmy Fletcher, Curtis Grady, Luke Heisey, Audra Matthews, Cody Ford, Bean, Angelina Quintero, okay, Jessica Bow, Clifford Scholl, Jimmy Smith, Craig McNeil, Jamie Windsor, William Rainey, Tessa Owens, Terry Parker, Jason Bird, Bryce Williams, Gregory Wyatt, DeQuaylen Hill, Randy Kimbley, Nick Allen, Dylan Sivils, Brody Hibden, Jacqueline Kurtz, Tim Harper, Gavin Briggs, Josh Hibden, Rick Bottrell, Tommy Springer, Michael Harper, Anthony Moss, Stephanie Smith Hart. God damn it. Nick Johnson, Cam Pate, Jace Cassins, Roy Cooper, Axel Smithhart, Michael Hopkins, Emily Matthews, Forrest Williams, Gregory Wyatt III, Briley Scott, Gavin Owens, Kaylee Russell, Kason Scholl, Bodie Smithhart, Carly Frazier, Anita Zerline, Gage Fierlhelm, Bailey Deems, Kenny Ludy, Nate Moss, Laura Philhelm, Leslie Hoke, Lewis Scholl, John Johnson. Why is his name John Johnson? I'm sorry. Cheyenne Williams. John Johnson threw me.
All right. Before we go any further, public service announcement. If Billy mispronounced your name, you can reach him directly at the phone number below. Feel free to call or text anytime you would like to discuss your displeasure with him not pronouncing your name correctly. This is a public service
he owes you
announcement
$1
by the rest of the WSDN staff.
There is no phone number below. And I assure you, do not call Racing in the Dirt complaining about if I mispronounced your name. That's the only phone number I listed on here. So don't call that number complaining about I pronounced your name wrong at the Atoka belt race. Please don't do that. But if John Johnson wants to send me a message because I left you, I'm sorry. Why would your parents name
Billy,
you John?
I know you're this is a little bit more your way, but maybe this is for me and Isaac. I know we don't know quite as many of the racers in here, but Isaac, out of the people here that you do know, who do you think is going to take the belts home next weekend?
Okay, so that was my question. So is there a belt per class, or is this going to be just one monster bracket?
This is one monster class. It's everything juniors to top alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the dude with the John Deere looking buggy with the square tube main
Luke Heisey.
Huh?
Luke Heisey? Oh, I got
Luke
remember how to say
Heisey?
his name. I remember how to say his name. Yeah, Luke Heisey. That's him.
All right.
That's him.
Luke is my guy. If not, I think you said somebody named Bean. That's going to be my runner-up. I'm taking those are my two right there.
Well, we already know that Billy automatically has to go with John Johnson.
Yeah.
John Johnson would be my number 2 pick. My number 1 pick.
Who's your number 1?
John Acker.
John Acker. I think
So
I'm going to go.
I'm picking John or John. Do I get a third pick?
Do
I get a third pick?
No, you don't get a third pick.
No.
You don't get a third pick.
No,
I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Tommy Springer. And if Tommy doesn't do it, I think Pruitt Schultz is going to get it.
Oh,
so I'm going to opposite ends of the spectrums there. We got quad to, well, yeah, they do have to show up. That is true. Just because you are eligible for the belt does not mean you're going to be a participant.
We could all be wrong, and none of our people we just pick will show.
You know what? We'll see.
Now, does the belt come with a payout as well?
I know. I think it's just the belt.
Just the belt. All right. Hey,
but I could be wrong. Cool. I don't know.
I mean, I think Ford was on here.
I don't know. I thought there was a payout for it
around his head. So I mean, it's still pretty sweet.
These questions could have been answered last week on last week's episode when Derek joined us when I talked to him. But honestly, I don't remember.
And there we go. All right. So it was rescheduled from last weekend to this weekend.
Yeah.
Because of some weather and stuff. So that has been kind of a theme at Atoka this summer. But they're going to get it in. Weather's looking good for this weekend, Billy.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're going to have a great weekend. It's Friday, 70 degrees, low of 45. Saturday is 71 degrees, a low of 57. They're going to have a good track to race on for the belt race this weekend. I think they're going to get a pretty good turnout after everybody looks at that weather. And yeah. I would like to go, man. The belt race is always a good time. I always like the track in November. So yeah. Belt race looks like it's going to be a blast. Definitely, hopefully, going to plan for it next year, depending how things go. But yeah, the belt race is always a good time at Atoka. Bobby Kincaid is a notorious winner of the belt multiple times. I know that. He hasn't been out racing this year at Atoka, or else he probably would win it again. So, but yeah, the belt race at Atoka, always a blast. And let's go, Johns. Don't ruin it for me.
All right. So that wraps up our preview for not only the Speeders South Georgia Motorsports Park race coming up this weekend and the Battle of the Belts at Atoka Motorsports Park. And a reminder, folks, this entire episode is brought to you by Racing in the Dirt, Cleveland, Wisconsin.
Hey, folks, this episode of Paddle Talk is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt has parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help all of their customers compete at their very best. With over 30 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, and experience and helpful staff as well. Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. And don't forget to check out their website, RacingInTheDirt.com. That is RacingInTheDirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Episode 51 of the Paddle Talk podcast. And this is our wrap-up section. Hot takes, hot news, whatever you've got. Joining me, Billy Teeters, Caleb Mings, our West Coast correspondent. And here's where we're going to wrap up the show. So, something hot, some piece of news you've got or something like that, whatever you've got going on, and maybe even a chance to get to know each one of our correspondents a little more personal. So, with that being said, Billy Teeters had his hand raised during the intermission, apparently has to go first. So, yeah. Billy, it's all you, buddy.
You said you had a hot take. I wanted to hear your hot take.
Oh, I do have a hot take, but you said you had to go first, so
okay, fine. Well, I don't remember saying that, but I appreciate it. I guess my one thing is that today is Thursday, November 14th. Tomorrow is Friday, November 15th. It is my son Caden's birthday. He will be turning 11 years old.
Shout out Caden.
Tomorrow night, thank you. Tomorrow night, we're going to pray for us. We're going to have 5 of his friends stay over after we go out to dinner. So we're going to see how that goes. And
God rest your souls.
Saturday sounds pretty crazy. He's going to have 3 basketball games starting at 10:30 in the morning. And then he's got his birthday party at a trampoline park at 7 o'clock at night on Saturday night. And I just wanted to say, I love my Bubba so much. He has been growing so much. He's been killing his workouts. He's been killing it in sports. He's going to be a beast. He's going to be unstoppable. And I just can't wait to watch him grow. I love him so much.
All right. Awesome. Hey, shout out, Caden. Happy birthday, buddy. And yeah, many more to you. I'm not going to lie. Just the rundown of that weekend, my back is starting to ache, and I think I need a nap.
We went to this trampoline park one time, and we just it was where we got together for our football celebration for our season because our football team went undefeated. Shout out, I was a coach, and we went to this trampoline park, and the kids really loved it. Caden said he really loved it. I didn't jump there when we first went. I'm gonna jump there when we go there Saturday. And last time I went to a trampoline park, I almost died. I don't know if y'all ever been to a trampoline park, but it'll test your will. It'll test your shape. And I seriously, dude, I was dripping sweat. Caden, I was just dying. And Caden's like, let's go rock climbing. I'm like, yeah, but no, yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
Well, hey, the good news is that you've got an advantage over him because he's going to stay up all night Friday and have those 3 basketball games to tire him out on Saturday before the trampoline park. So maybe you'll be able to actually keep up with him.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. He's gonna be running on all cylinders. So we'll see. We will see. But yeah, that's my thing. If I have anything else, I don't think I do. But yeah, my Bubba's birthday's tomorrow. So
That's awesome, man. Hey, doesn't need to be more than that. Caleb Miggs, what do you got, buddy?
Oh no, Isaac, you got to get your hot take first. We're waiting on that.
Yeah,
So,
we got to hear this hot take.
All right, so Billy can insert the ad here. A lot of you may have seen Mr. Rick Ensing has his altered for sale.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just say that I have confirmation Doug Vinlette's not going to be the only guy with a long car next summer. And that big Brad Anderson Hemi has found a new home, and I think he's looking to put his name instead of Doug's in a couple places. So this is shaping up to be a really interesting 2025, and we're not even to December yet, right? I mean,
No, yeah.
this should be awesome. I love this offseason stuff. This is great.
So what you're leaving us hanging here? What long cars he got?
I believe this is the other ex Pat Goodell machine.
The Village car.
Correct.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's a nice one. Like that one.
Yeah, that is a badass car. So that's gonna go to Rick Ensing. All right.
yep.
I wonder he's gonna change the wrap on it, isn't he?
I would guess so.
Yeah, he probably will.
Probably. So
An all black wrap would look dope on that car though.
I would also agree. That being said, if somebody wants a bad to the bone altered, that is a beautiful car that Rick has for sale.
Dude, he's got the body for it too. I never saw the thing out with the body. That thing's freaking beautiful. Like, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, Jay Blanchard from J Wire Solutions did all the wiring on that thing, and that car the fit and finish is fantastic on that thing. It's very impressive. And I tell you what, sand or asphalt, somebody's going to get a really nice car on that pickup. So
I would drive it. I put a Volkswagen in.
Yeah, Volkswagen. Hey, that exists. That exists.
It does. They are sick.
Paradise,
if you ever seen
VW.
a Volkswagen powered altered, they're freaking awesome. If you haven't, just quick Google search and go to Google Images. It's very interesting. Well, that's dope. I got a little bit of that car for sale. I saw it earlier. I was scrolling on Facebook.
Yeah, I had as soon as I saw the ad, I had sent a text and actually was waiting. And during one of our segments, all of a sudden I saw that somebody was typing, and next thing I know, there was a message in the box. I'm like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I hope somebody gets it, and I hope it stays in the sport. But if it doesn't, I totally get it, because then you could take that chassis.
Yeah,
it was an asphalt car, wasn't it not?
It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. See, it could just go back to its home on the asphalt, or somebody could just keep it in the sand and keep it dirty. It's fine.
Let's be honest. It looks way cooler with paddles.
It does.
Absolutely.
All race cars look cooler with paddles. And if you don't believe me, you can go Google the video of the NASCAR driving through the dunes with the 20s on the back of it, and it looks sick.
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, that altered, that thing's screaming for a some sort of alcohol injected or nitrous big block to run like 295. That car would be killer for that class.
Totally.
Dave tries to get one to match Cody's. Just boom. Then you have two of them. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Oh man,
it would not happen, but that would be nuts.
I got a little bit of extra news, and I apologize because I didn't really confirm that this could be out there. So we're gonna just leave it where that is. But there's no. We'll go ahead and say here. There's going to be another top eliminator contender on the West Coast.
Whoa.
Is it not Mike Brock? Because that was
not Mike Brock. Not Mike. No, Brock has had that for a year and a half. He's run in a dome a couple times, but no, there is a new person, somebody that we spoke about on the Dome Valley segment that won quite a few points championships. Ooh, Mr. Eric Brown.
Oh,
really?
Oh, I wish. Come on now. No, Eric Brown, he's going to take that delayed reaction dragster, and he's got blown big block going to be going into it for the next season.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, I
think that
feel
will
like
work.
there's still a fair amount of cars on the West Coast that are kind of parked maybe for the moment there, Caleb, that we haven't talked about or haven't seen in a little while. And yeah, kind of interested to see some of that come out. Yes, Billy.
Why don't Elsinore guys go to Dome?
Oh boy.
Is it because
Are
the
we
insurance
really
bullshit
having
still?
that conversation?
Is it the insurance bullshit still? Because it's basically
Some
the
of
same
them-
everywhere you go.
Some of them it might be. I think some people, like, obviously, like when Dome first started back up, it was green crew and things weren't super efficient. Things have gotten way better since then. So there are some people that
Way
went
better.
out and gave it a shot right at the start and had a bad experience. Stuff was slow, whatever. They had to rerun the race, whatever it was.
Well,
And so they haven't been back. But we got to keep in mind too, a lot of the California people, it's a far drive for them. Now, obviously, we see people that do make the trip.
it's
that
4.5
drive a far way
hours
out
from
there.
Elsinore.
It's 4.5 hours from Elsinore, but there's people that are coming from, up north or something that already were driving 4 hours plus to Elsinore, and then they've
The
got
Oregon guys were there.
more. There was. You're right. Not saying people don't travel. I'm just saying, sometimes it's tough. But yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. We're still waiting to hear back from news from Lake Elsinore to see if they're going to be able to hold sand drag races there. So we're still kind of in the waiting period on that. So it might force people to go and do that if they want to race.
I would just like to see, like, if they really supported the sport, like some people claim to do, why not support it in all facets of the West Coast, where you have Avenal, Dome, and Elsinore, and then you can make an occasional trip to the Northwest if you're lucky to,
Yeah.
because you got Albany up there too. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it just feels weird
Hey, you
that
know
like
what?
Elsinore guys don't go to Dome, and then
Even
Avenal
even
guys
in
don't
my
go to
time,
Elsinore.
even
It's
in
just
my
weird.
time out there, it was weird because it was like when we would go to Dome or to Yuma, you would see a lot of the Phoenix crew and the Mexico guys come up for those two. When you would move to Saboba or Lake Elsinore, it was more the Southern California guys with some of the Arizona guys. And really, the only time we ever saw everybody kind of get together was at Prim. And Prim, it seemed like everybody wanted to go to that. Whether you were coming from Phoenix, you were coming from SoCal, from Northern California, even the Pacific Northwest, it seemed like everybody wanted to come there and run that race. So,
And it was crazy because Prim was
Prim was one
not
of
the
a
best
kind.
track.
oh,
Prim
definitely
was
not.
Prim was a fun race to be at, but as far as like,
Dude.
oh, I want to go to the best track, Prim was not the best track.
No.
Prim
Any
was
of
a
the other
vacation.
tracks,
Prim was a
Yes.
vacation. That's what it was.
Yep.
You had the
Prim-
you had the roller coasters in that one hotel. You had all the casinos to deal with, and then it's just, dude, how what? I mean, what time are they done racing every day? Like 5 o'clock, 6
well,
o'clock.
you had
at
to
most,
race.
latest?
You had to race to get into the race, and it was a week long. So you wanted to get in. If you
Yeah.
were a Pro 2, car, you had to literally race down on Thursday or Friday to be able to make the Sunday show, and that was a big deal.
It
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Prim
was
was about the destination, not necessarily about the actual, that track wasn't fast. It was not, definitely not the greatest track we ran on. It was hard to
Although-
maintain, but you know what? The atmosphere made it just unbelievable. I will say I enjoyed multiple, I believe Porterhouse or New York Strip one weekend at when Whipple had the hospitality trailer there, and that dude knew how to cook steak. I'm just saying, it was absolutely fantastic.
I was there when Charlie Brown Jr. He ran a
35 for the record.
Was that it? Okay. See, yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to say this for a record. I couldn't remember what the exact number was. I almost said 39, but I remember he broke the record, and that was dope. That was dope. And then that same weekend, Joe Betancourt and Dennis Wright, both wrecked. That was nuts.
Oh, was that the same weekend?
It was.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I
Wow.
do remember that. That was a gnarly weekend.
That was an insane weekend because the front wing from Dennis Wright's dragster busted out our minivan back windshield or rental car back windshield, and it was nuts. It was crazy.
Oh my. Oh. Yeah.
Prim was lit though. Prim was awesome.
Prim was that.
It,
some
it was a
very-
great. It was a
some
great
very
time, and
nice
honestly, the sport needs to get something similar to Prim. Now, I will say this: having been back to Prim recently, we don't want to be there.
No.
all the fun stuff that we are reminiscing about. That's very rundown. It's a ghost town there, but we do need to get some sort of big, once a year national event where it's just everybody from everywhere wants to come to. Basically, get like a Gilbert for the whole San Andreas community, not just bikes.
I think that'd be easier to do like every other year, like biannual. Do like so that you could gather like a bunch of money for like these top eliminator, top alcohol. And if you have to do A fuel, I still think A fuel cars should just do top eliminator, but that's the conversation for later. But yeah, I think every other year would work just fine, and that way you guarantee good car counts, and that people prepare much in advance. So, just an idea.
Yeah,
I
And then we could do it at Thunder Valley.
I would love to see a what I'll call Midwest in the Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, maybe even into Kentucky area, an event somewhere there, and then the next year, whether it's a Nevada or Dome or someplace, a little more centrally located West Coast for the reciprocation, and maybe even, like an East meets West type of vibe, and that sort of thing, I think could work. And I think, especially with the way things are going now versus a week ago, and I'll leave it at that, I think we all feel a little bit better about maybe that could happen. So
let's make it happen, Isaac.
let's make it happen. Somebody needs to take the reins, make it happen. So, all right. Anything else, gentlemen?
I feel like that was a lot of hot
Brookville
takes.
will be a dope spot. Brookville will be a dope spot for that idea, but you may run into an issue with parking, and then you the track prep.
I don't got the track prep to do
24
bikes,
minutes
so
is the problem.
Yeah.
It just
Well,
takes way
not
too
only
long.
the length, but they don't have the track prep type to be able to run bikes there, so that would have to be a car only event deal.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't think this idea exists where you do cars and bikes at the same time. I mean, you could, but it may just be better to just do just cars, because the ATVs have their time twice, 3 times a year with the PSDA. So
yeah,
Wing dingers want equal respect there, Billy. Come on.
Yeah,
well,
come on,
the
Billy.
Elsinore don't
You're
give
a
a
wing
damn
dinger
about
too.
them. Why should we?
Wow.
Wow.
And Elsinore may be done. So
Wow.
those go hand in hand. I don't know anymore. So,
Oh,
all right.
good.
So that is going to wrap up not only this segment, but also the podcast. Folks, we thank you for joining us. On behalf of myself, Caleb Mings, Billy Teeters, episode 51 of the Paddle Talk podcast is in the books. We'll see you next week.
Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. And don't forget to check out their website, racinginthedirt.com. That is racinginthedirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.